Hello, I'm Steve. Welcome to the Patio Heat channel, where we create visual concepts of infrared heating as well as tips for outdoor comfort. Our one-on-one customer support helps you make the best decision for your application. We strive to earn your business. Visit our patioheat.com website for sales and more information. Now let's get heating. All right, so this is a residential application. Now this is actually a screened in room, so I don't have the physical screens in place just so it allows us to maneuver a lot better, but there is screens between all these panels, and something to think, or just something to keep in mind. There's doorways that swing out. I believe this door here swings in, or excuse me, swings out as well. And there is some doors into the residence itself that swings out into the patio, so that is something that we need to be aware of. Couple of lights up here. They did say that they would be willing to remove those lights and change the positions possibly, so that's something to think about. This is a drop ceiling. Now they did mention that there's possibly 12 inches of clearance between the ceiling and the rafter system here. I'm not a construction builder, so this is just a visual concept of what a rafter might look like. Anything else here? I think that's about it. We have basically a dining space here, reclining space over here. There is some reclining over here as well. And I think that is about it. The glass window over here should not be an issue. So let's go ahead and look at the overall dimensions. Overall dimensions we have here at 22 feet wide by 14 foot depth. And we have a height of the ceiling itself at 8 foot 2 inches, and I have that slope that starts from right there to here at 10 foot 7. I think that's about it. This post, or this beam here coming across, is at 9 foot 7 off the floor. And this door I have here, it comes out at 2 foot 10 that I show, so it might be a little bit different, so that's something to think about. And I'll show you what this 18 inches here represents here in a minute. And I think that is about it for right this minute. So let's go ahead and turn that off and go ahead and look at possibly the first option that I might suggest. This would be a surface mount 4,000 watt unit. Now you can go to a 6,000 watt unit, but the only way I could suggest that is if you use a control system. The unit itself will be exactly the same dimensions as this one, the 4,000. This is a C 4024, so the 6,000 would be a CD 6024, so the CD would be a dual element heater. And the only way I can really suggest that is if there's a control system, but the footprint's going to be the same, but the intensity is going to be much higher, so that's why I'm not showing that in this particular layout right now, but they are exactly identical. So what I did here is this first unit is the most important one that we want to talk about, and that's this 18 inches of clearance from the edge of any combustibles to the surface of the heater. Here is the below clearance, so we got 18 inches below, 36 inches all the way down, and it's 18 inches on all four sides like that. All right, and you can see there's 4 units total, and I moved these out a little bit further than I had originally thought. That's just so that we can get a better footprint of heat. So you can see from center to center of the heaters, I have that at 5 feet 10 inches, 11 inches roughly, and that we still are maintaining the clearances outside here. And you can see also that we have the bottom of the heater at 7 foot 5 and almost 7 foot 6 inches off the finished floor. So that's also important, and that's why I'm not going with that 6,000 watt unit at first to show you, because I want to make sure that this is going to be the option without controls. Let's see if there's anything else here. Do have the heaters at 9 foot center to center. Whoops, sorry about that. 9 foot center to center, so center of heater to center of heater. And again, starting at this entry doorway here, I have 18 inches. So again, if that's a little bit shorter, then we can move it a little bit to the left, and we can also move this or just leave it specifically right here in this place. Let's see here. I think that's about it as far as the dimensions are concerned. Let's go ahead and turn those dimensions off. I'm also going to turn off the clearances, and just a quick thing, 6 inches of clearance is required above the heater, around the left, right, and sides of the unit as well, on top of the unit. So that's the clearances above the surface of the bottom edge of the heater itself. All right. So now the footprint of heat, let's go ahead and just take a look at that. The footprint of heat, you can see with this layout, I think it represents a very warm and evenly spaced layout of warmth. So I think this would be ideal for this application. And again, if you want to go with a 6,000 watt unit, then definitely a control system is in place, is required for this application. There's one other thing I wanted to mention here. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, here we go. So you can see that the actual footprint of heat you're only losing on the edges here about a foot, a foot and 4 inches roughly. I think that's about the same over here. Yeah, about a foot and 3 inches, let's say. So that's the footprint of heat here, and it physically will have rays that come out here. It's just not the ideal space. So, on colder days, you might want to slide this chair a little bit forward. Same with that one. And, same if you have any seating out here on this side as well. On this edge here and against the wall, you're going to get pretty good coverage here. So it's just the left and right sides of this patio that aren't 100% heated. The only way we can do that is by adding an additional line of heaters. That would be 6 heaters instead of 4. I think that would be overkill in this specific application. So let me turn that off, and then also I want to go ahead and talk about one other thing that had come up, and that's the fact that, again, that these panels here are dropped panels, and they said that there's possibly 12 inches of clearance above that. So going back to let's see here. So this would be FlushMount. Now we did look at this, again, but this would be the least desirable application here, centered in the patio. So the only way that we could truly place the heaters over here, and I got a little example over here. Let's go ahead and take a look. Looking at if possibly there's 12 inches of dropped clearance here, what you could do is build some sort of box, supporting box that would hold the FlushMount kit. So here's the FlushMount kit. The heater's inside. There's also a 1 hour rated drywall that you need to line that box up with, which would be all 4 sides plus the top. And then the FlushMount kit fits inside there, and then the heater fits inside the FlushMount kit. So you have reduced clearances here. Now, we don't know where the actual rafters truly are, but again, if it's actually 12 inches, dropping it might be sufficient. And we have the same clearance. So I started at this edge of the doorway here, 18 inches over to the edge of the heater, not the FlushMount kit, but the edge of the heater itself. And now that moves the heater up approximately 9 inches off the finished floor, and putting a 6,000 watt unit in there would also be desirable with a control system, however, as well. And what happens is the footprint of heat, it gets a little bit wider in both directions, just a few inches wider, but it would look much better, I think, if it was able to be flush mounted. That's just a visually more pleasing type of application. So if it's 8 inches, you could still do it because you just need 8 inches of clearance above. And so this particular client said that there is about 12, and that's possible that you have 12. Now there is a one finished edge. Let me just show it to you here. There's a portion of the patio where these panels are that there is just a finished edge between the panels, just to give it a visual pleasing appearance. If you kept that in there, you need to make sure that the heater itself is dropped down to the same elevation as the bottom of these finished little pieces here. So what that means is simply taking the heater. There are 4 brackets that support the heater in place, 1, 2, 3, 4 over here, and you would just drop that so that the heater itself is at the same elevation as the finished pieces of wood. And this FlushMount kit can actually be positioned so that, let's just move this panel here over for an example, and it could be all the way up to 1/2 inch of these vent holes here. So that's what it would look like if you were to cover up that panel, the FlushMount kit panel, with the existing panel on the rooftop here. So I think it just would look a little bit nicer if it was like that, as opposed to having the finished edge of the FlushMount kit revealed. Just something to give it a visual appearance. So, all right, I think that's about it. You can see that the 6,000 watt unit here, and for this example here, even though that's not the ideal position, that it's made for a higher application. Again, that is why you want a control system on it, so that you can change that density, the intensity of the heater itself. So, all right, let's go back to this other plan here, just to take a look at it. Again, I think this is a relatively simple application. I think a 4,000 watt unit would be sufficient for this installation height. And again, you can go to the 6,000 watt unit if you go with a control system. So that's about it. All right, well, I hope this has helped. If you're looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application and you would like us to review your plans, please send your information into designs@patioheat.com, and please hit that like button. We don't advertise, we're not monetized. YouTube does not promote our channel unless we receive thumbs up from our viewers like you, and we truly appreciate that. Thank you. Have an excellent day.